Look at this. Cute, huh? Looks planned. Well, the color order and number of rows in each color was chosen by AI. And honestly, I think it did a better job than I would have. I don't know about you, but color decisions absolutely paralyzed me. So I handed the whole thing over to AI. Come and see how it turned out. I've had this pile of sock yarn sitting here for ages. Gorgeous colours, all of it. But every time I try to start something, I get completely stuck on which colours go together. Does that happen to you? How many rows should I work in each? Decision fatigue is real, folks. So I thought, what if I let something else choose for me? Ta-da! I've seen people using random number generators, but I wanted to try something a bit different. I opened up ChatGPT. I gave it my list of yarn colours, told it my ideas for random colour choices, and I just asked it to plan the whole thing. And it did. Here's what I told it. I have 15 shades of yarn, 3 light, 5 medium, 7 dark. Please label these light 1, 2, 3, medium 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, dark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Please create a list, excuse the spelling mistakes, of all 15 in a random order, but each shade must be used at least once in the list of 15. And here's what it came back with. Here's my first list of 15. These are my shades. So that's medium number 3, light number 1, dark number 5, and so on. And then it said, do you want some more lists? Yes, please. So I added another 10 lists. And then I went with an idea that I'd seen in a sweater once, where they just used 1, 2, or 3 rows for each colour, and that was random as well. So I said, me again. Could you recall the random shade generator list from earlier and add the numbers 1, 2, and 3 randomly to each one? So that's what it did. And I now have a spreadsheet with all these lists on, which I'm going to show you now. Here's the chart I'm working from to make my scrappy scarf. I've got all the lists across here. Change the order slightly that I'm working them in. I'm currently on this one here, which I've called number 7. So what I've got in here is the colour to use and how many rows to work in it. The colours are all listed over here. So I've just worked L3, pale blue, 2 rows, D1, which is blue, for 3 rows, and M5, which is pink, for 1 row. And that's what you can see here. You might notice that I am using slip stitches between each set of colours. I decided I would do that to help the colours blend more naturally together. And I'm going to show you how I work that now when we start our next colour. Our next colour is actually M2, which is orange, and I'm going to be working that for 3 rows. On my first round in every colour, I knit 1 stitch and slip 1 stitch. Now the order I do that varies. In my last row, I knitted the pink and I slipped the blue. So I think I'll slip the pink and knit my orange. Not worried about joining anything in yet. I'll show you what I do at the end of the first round. So I'm just going to loop that over and knit it, slip, get my tail out of the way, knit, slip, knit, and obviously I'm using circular needles. So it's only this first round where I tend to use the slip stitch, or where I do use the slip stitch, just to make the last colour and the next colour blend in. And sometimes it has really amazing effects, because if you've only worked one colour in the row before, it looks like you're actually doing a sort of a fair isle there. The orange and the pink looks quite interesting. So I've seen some really interesting ideas being developed while I've been working on this. So I'm just going to get to the end of this round and then I'll show you what I've done. I'm just coming up to the end of this first round. So slip, knit, slip, knit. Now if you look at the back of this might scare you a bit, but I am not doing anything with my ends until I've finished. All I'm doing is knotting them together. This is going to be on the inside of the scarf, so why give yourself extra hassle of having to sort out ends? So what I will do, I will just take the last pink that I used there and I will knot that together with the orange that I've just finished, and I'll probably do a couple more knots because this yarn does tend to be a little bit slippy. I'm just going to carry on and do my 2 further rounds in the orange, which was on my list to do, and then I'll meet you back and chat about a few other things. So this is the end of my 3rd round of orange, and if I look at my next colour, it's going to be the dark pink, which is going to be 2 rounds, so that will be quite interesting. Now I just want to say a little bit more about the ends. You don't have to weave these in. you can just, once they're all nicely tied off at the end, I'm just planning to trim them a bit, that's all. And another thing is I didn't bother worrying about the jog. It doesn't matter because the first round in every colour is a slip stitch round. It sort of helps hide the jog anyway. So I just knitted and it was just wonderful feeling to just follow the lists, and the relief of not deciding what to do next was great. Now I was a bit worried about some of the colours because I included, for example, a dark grey, which I think you can see there. I was a bit funny about it, but I think it looks beautiful. And I love it when it's up against the pink there. So that's gorgeous. So there it's between the green and the lilac-y colour. Gives it a completely different perspective. And another thing I would never have put together myself was yellow and blue. I just wouldn't have done it. But look how gorgeous that looks. And the yellow, because I do struggle a bit with yellow. I think it's a hard colour to deal with. The yellow here, look at this yellow here. It looks like little flowers. Yellow, red and cream. Absolutely beautiful. So here's the scarf as far as I've got. Haven't finished it yet, but it's just something that I can just pick up and work on again very, very easily when I feel like doing some mindless knitting. Now I did put a 1x1 rib at the beginning. Not sure about that now. I might even take it off. I think if I was doing this again, I'd start with a stockinette stitch and let it curl up on itself because I love that effect as well. I have written a blog about this process which explains everything you're going to need to be able to create your own version. The link for that is in the description. I'd love to see your final results of those. I love the fact that there's no stress, no second guessing, no decision fatigue, just knitting. And if someone stopped me in the street and asked if I'd planned these colours, I'd probably say yes. Why not have a go? It's wonderful. So if you've got a sock yarn stash you're not sure what to do with, I genuinely recommend this approach. Hand the decisions off. You'll be surprised at what comes back. The prompt I used is in the pinned comment. Feel free to adapt it for your own colours. I also have a whole blog where I discuss this process. And let me know in the comments, would you trust AI to plan your knitting? I'm genuinely curious. I'll see you in the next one. Happy knitting.